these here are the rocks I made last episode, if you watched. And these are the rocks that Grian made in Season 8. And these as well. And also these. And these. I think he likes building rocks. And in case you didn't know, it's my goal to become a better builder than Grian. So not only are we going to be improving these rocks, we're also going to be doing something else which actually could be pretty important for the rest of the series. So to begin this episode, we're actually in Hermitcraft Season 8, where as you can see, Grian's got his Midnight Alley thing going on. And from what I can see, there are three major things that Grian has basically one-upped me on. Number one, the scale obviously, although I can't really do too much about that without making an entire new mountain range, which on my own, this scale is going to be pretty difficult to do, especially with iron tools. Number two, he's got some custom trees going on. I'm not sure if all of these are his, I can't really remember. That might be Pearl's, for example, but it does add quite a lot of detail and just something different to look at, which really does add to the build as a whole. And also the gradients, as you can see here. This one, I'm a little bit confused as to what went on here. But, I mean, a gradient's a gradient, so if I can do this well, maybe I can actually upgrade on this one. And then obviously, how he kind of mixes it into the landscape, it doesn't look like it's just plugged into there. So here's the game plan. First, I need to kill these fellas here, and preferably not die. I need to cut down this tree, which I don't remember why I have. So for most of this episode, I probably need to finish off this area here. So I can probably put some custom trees around here or something. I obviously need to do a bit more kind of blending in. It's quite a harsh line here. And also, I'm not sure if you've noticed, but most of this cave is pretty circular, as you can see here, and obviously kind of here as well. But this area is really flat, and it doesn't quite look very natural. Obviously there's the hole here, but it doesn't quite look right, so I might try and adjust how it kind of goes into the mine here, so it could kind of slope in, if that makes sense. You'll see later on in the episode. Also there's a few flat areas here, there's a massive hole there as well. So then after all of this is done, I can move on to the next thing I want to do, which might take a few episodes. Also, I'm not really sure if I should put anything up here or not. I can't think of anything. Maybe drop a comment and I'll have a look. And finally, we kind of need something to go along here. Obviously this flat kind of lumpy mess, it doesn't look the best, does it? It's very plain and very boring. This world is now in 1.20.6 as opposed to 1.20.4, which is good because we can get all the new wolf armors and stuff. However, replay mod is not available yet, so I'm gonna have to do a pretty rubbish time lapse compared to normal. Now, because we're working with quite a small scale, maybe if I just kind of bone meal some of these trees. As I was saying, maybe if we just bone meal some of these trees, we could just kind of edit them a little bit so it's a little bit less like a default vanilla tree and a little bit more like a custom tree. So one thing I don't really like about the vanilla custom trees is they have these massive gaps in the middle, and also no tree has a random burst of leaves at the top. So if we kind of get rid of some of these leaves here at the top, fill in this kind of gappy bit here, and then if we aim to get it there, or maybe the tree needs to be a little bit shorter. Okay, maybe we need to completely rethink this. Maybe the tree's too short, maybe it does need to be a little bit taller than that. So maybe if we just add like a couple of blocks on top, maybe that wouldn't look so bad. So that's the first tree done, and I think the best way to do it is mostly just be a little bit rough around the edges. So obviously as you start, you kind of follow a simple pattern and then fill it in. But then the way to kind of finish it off is if you just kind of add little blocks around that don't really fit the shape, but still fit the shape, if that makes sense. So obviously this is not a perfect circle around here, there's bits jutting out here and here, but it still kind of goes up along, as you can see, and that kind of gives it a bit more natural look. And also, if you were down at this level, another really good detail you could add is just poking little holes in here, because a tree in real life would not have branches that are really glued close to the wood, so it kind of makes an upside down V shape. So maybe if I do another one of those there, kind of fill in the gaps here. Obviously I got a lot of dirt from this whole terraforming thing here, so that cave would no longer be a thing. Kind of put a little bit of a flat surface here, put another tree on top, just so it kind of looks a bit like that, where it's kind of a little group of trees kind of going up and around the mountain. And I'm also planning on building a bit of a bigger one there, which I've custom made in advance. So maybe for this area kind of along here, if I just kind of start by... What? How is it just... Okay. So I think for this next custom tree, I'll just put it right here where this block is already. I think it's going to be a very similar tree to this one, but a bit more curvy, if that makes sense. I think you'll see at the end how I mean. So the two trees are now complete. Obviously you can see this one's a bit more curvy than this one's more of a triangle shape. I think it would probably look better if this one was there and that one was there, but I'm probably not going to change it now. As I said earlier, I want to kind of curve this inward so it kind of levels into the mine a bit more, so then it looks less flat and less artificial and a bit more natural, and then I can extend the mine down to wherever, get some diamonds for the enchanting table and obsidian and all that stuff. So I finished the mining, and I haven't done it in a time lapse because I've just done 3 pretty long ones, so I think it'll be a bit boring if I did another. So I'm going to go up on some scaffolding here just to show you what I've done. And it definitely could be better. Although I would say it's much better than it was before, which is the main goal, so that's good. However, I also want to do a bit more detailing on the cave. So as you can see down here, we've got a bit of granite and dripstone, as well as a bit of mossy cobblestone to add some colour. I want to kind of do something a bit similar to that, kind of around the edges of the cave, to kind of add something to this leafy bit here, because it looks good, but on its own it does look a little bit out of place. And also I could do a bit more texturing with some moss around here maybe. The sort of thing I'm gonna do is kind of place some of these dripstone blocks and the dripstone spikes, as well as a bit of granite as well, which looks really nice with the green for some reason. It contrasts quite well, and then also it kind of blends into the stone as well, like the andesite. The tints of yellow really match up with this quite well. I'm not sure why. So that's how it's looking at the moment, which looks fine, but it does look very out of place. So I want to kind of mimic some of this down here as well, and also over on this section of the cave, because that section looks really plain and boring and doesn't look much like the rest of the area. So I want to kind of add some moss, some kind of mossy cobblestone, andesite, diorite, dripstone, all that kind of stuff, and put it in this section as well. So in dripstone caves, as well as the hanging dripstone, you also get dripstone spikes at the bottom. So I'm thinking maybe just a couple of these dotted around might not look too bad. have one of those hidden behind there. Also, I could put some over here as well. And then kind of do a similar thing here, but up here. I'm not sure if there would really be space, but we can always try. So if we get rid of some of these stairs, maybe get a bit of this stuff in here. Primarily, I think it should be dripstone, but then have accents of andesite where it could be like a little bit darker or something. I don't know. Obviously, the dripstone spikes are made of dripstone, so it would make sense to have more dripstone. So I don't think that looks too bad. Maybe if we add a bit of moss as well, that could make things look a little bit better. Kind of drag this in here a bit more. And thankfully we have plenty of these azalea leaves which I can use. And one of the last things I'm going to do in this area is just kind of finish up some texturing here. Obviously, down here, quite a bit of texture. Looks quite nice. Up here, however, there's a lot of blank stone, which I don't really like the look of. So I'm going to add some different blocks that I've got here to try and make it look a little bit more interesting like everything else does. So while I have the time, I might as well explain what happened to Minecraft Rewinded, which I said I was going to do last episode but ended up forgetting. I think it was a good series and it performed quite well. Obviously it dipped quite a bit at the end, although that might be mainly to do with the fact that I hadn't uploaded for about 3 months prior. I think it was a good series, but I think it was at the wrong time. So I quite enjoyed making the videos and it was very interesting to go back into the old versions, but I don't think it was at the right time in that it's very challenging to build with such limitations, and as quite a new builder myself, I've only really been doing this for about a year now since the channel was made. It's very difficult and very time consuming, and in terms of making new skills, it's not really the best, so I thought I would tone it down just a little bit, go back to these versions where I have all these blocks and varieties that I can experiment with and develop some skills which would be a bit easier. Maybe someday I might go back to it, who knows, but for now it's gonna be staying as a unfinished series, I suppose. Building better than Grian, on the other hand, I think will be here to stay, no matter the performance of the videos or whatever, unless it gets about 2 views per video, then I might rethink things a bit. And to become better at Grian than building is probably more challenging than building on 1.11, but I will try my best and I'll keep learning, and I'd rather kind of learn in these new versions than the old ones, to be honest. So yeah, that's basically a brief explanation of it all. It didn't have anything really to do with the views or the fact that I'd ran out of video ideas. I had plenty of ideas, and the views don't really matter. It's about what I enjoyed doing, and I was enjoying it, but I don't think the interest was kind of fading a bit with the difficulty of building in these versions. So yeah, I'm quite enjoying doing this series now, which is what matters. And also it had a good few views as well, so that's always a good thing, and it's also quite incentivizing. So yeah, is that a word? Incentivizing? I think so. I think if I get to the point where, well, I think this is nearly impossible, but if I'm like a landslide better than Grian at building, then I think I could stop the series, which I don't think will ever happen, or if Grian comments or something crazy like that, which will also probably never happen. So yeah, honestly I'm just doing this series out of the enjoyment of doing this series, and it's nothing about the stats and anything like that. Typical, it starts raining as soon as I'm trying to record. Anyway, I've now finished this kind of area here, I think. This kind of stony area here. The grassiness and this kind of stuff up here, not done yet. So what I want to do next is continue to dig down here, get some diamonds, get some enchantment table requirement stuff like obsidian and diamonds as well. Get that enchanted, hopefully with silk touch, so then I can get some podzol, because I love podzol as a block. It looks really good. It looks really good for like terraining the floor. And as you can see, it's looking very green and boring along here. And I want to add some more detail, like there is here with the moss and the azalea leaves and the stone. But I want to do that with things like podzol and coarse dirt along here, as well as some moss as well, I think. But on the whole, it's actually starting to look pretty nice. I'm liking this bit here. It doesn't look like just some add-on that's been stuck on the side with a Pritt stick. It actually looks like it's meant to be there. This bit also looks now joined together, the leaves and the dripstone. Yeah, it's called dripstone. That all looks nice together. And also I've got a bit down here. I've tried to mimic like the mine shaft like supports, I think you would call them. It looks better in the testing world because I've got 3-block mine here. You can't really do much with this 2-block space and the bits above here, but it still looks alright, and it looks a bit nicer to add some colour into the grey as well. So yeah, on the whole I'm pretty happy with this area. Is it as good as Grian's? Probably not. No, I'd say it's definitely not as good as Grian's, but anyway, that's not really what matters for now. This is the second episode, so the point is we're learning and we're making progress. Alright, so I've just been doing some mining, as one does, you know, get some diamonds, get some different resources, so I can fill out the enchantment table recipe. I've stumbled across something pretty big. Now, some of you might not be able to tell what that is, just off of this, but I definitely know what this is. I have mined right through an ancient city, which for anyone who's watched this channel for long enough might have seen a video where I've covered this and how poorly that ended up. So I am quite skeptical about entering here, although it is high risk, high reward. But no, it's those that I think we're going to attempt it, as silly as it sounds. And there's some diamonds, okay. Ideally, I'd like to get an armor template, and some swift sneak would be quite nice in case I ever encounter one of these again. Also, I'm okay on carpet, I think. Oh, swift sneak. And a pretty decent diamond hoe as well. Admittedly, I don't think swift sneak 1 is that good, but it's definitely better than nothing. There is a chest, and there's another chest, but there's one of these, which aren't a problem. The problem is if they find a shrieker. Oh, there's another diamond there actually. I don't see any shriekers nearby, which is good. So yeah, we're alright here. There's also a skeleton skull I found. If I'm correct, I think they're pretty rare actually. So yeah, not bad. What's that? Lava. Alright, so okay. I did not know you could get skulk blocks. Echo shards, disc fragments. Glow berries are quite useful. Name tag, that's pretty big. Coal block, not really worth much to me. That's pretty decent. some sensors in there. Swift Sneak 3. Oh, I'm pretty sure that's the fastest you can get. Well, that's pretty good. That is pretty good. A catalyst as well. I don't know what on earth they are meant to do. And some more saddles. I never really have gone this in depth into a portal. Oh, there's the portal thing. I've never really gone that in depth into a ancient city before, so it's actually pretty interesting. It's kind of the first time I've ever done this. So I believe that just leads up to the portal here. What is this? This is so bizarre. Oh my. Crikey, I should have been more careful. How am I that susceptible to a simple trap like that? Oh my gosh. I am so disappointed in myself. Crikey. There's another one there. I should really be more careful. Okay, this has given me absolutely nothing. This is just a red herring, I think. Yeah, that was a big waste of time, but I did kind of want to know what it was there. We could always investigate this thing over here. Also, apologies, my voice sounds terrible today. I've got a bit of a cold, which is not so good, but the content grind still continues though. Oh no, that's not good. Oh no. Oh no. Not good. Definitely not good. Okay. Okay, good. And then one on top. Just like that. Should do the trick. I can't break that because that will actually set it off, but we can always just do something like that, maybe. Okay, cool. It worked. Okay, cool. I'm not actually really that interested in having these music discs because they're pretty common and you don't really do much with them anyway, so if we walk around we should actually be safe. Oh, that didn't work, did it? Right, I hate you. I detest you very much. So, okay, where were we looking then? So, one. Oh, I missed it. Okay. Nice. We should probably cover this one as well, because otherwise that might start a reaction or something like that. And then the final one up here. Right. If I open this chest and they go off, this is going to be the biggest noise in history. That was a very bad move, because now if I shut this chest, it's going to set off again. I'm just going to have to leg it then. What have I done? Oh no. And that's the third one. Now we've got a warden. Or not. I think we're fine. I can always come back here another time and get these chests instead, which could be a better option rather than have a warden chasing me, which would be a really bad option. Or we could go for it. Okay, phew. Right. Oh, we got some
some leggings, enchanted and diamond as well. I'm breaking 3 and mending. That is kind of a jackpot, to be honest. I'm breaking 3 of that as well. That was pretty good. We're safe, okay. So, we've got some potions, I think. Right, we are actually getting the heck out of here. Unfortunately, we are going to have to end this episode here because time is ticking. It's going to be a half-an-hour episode otherwise, which we really don't want to see. Unfortunately, we couldn't get everything we wanted done today, but next episode, there are going to be some pretty big plans. Anyway, so today we managed to get some tree action in here. We got some cave detailing done as well, just bringing this area a bit more to life. We've got this little mine thing here as well, which looks a bit better than just a flat slate, and then just suddenly down into there. And we did a bit of extra texturing around here as well. We also raided this ancient city. We got some pretty decent loot. We did some mining as well, so we're now up to 28 diamonds. We got some pretty good diamond leggings as well. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this half-baked episode. It does mean a lot if you'd like or subscribe or something nice like that to tell the YouTube algorithm I'm actually not doing that bad. So hopefully I'll see you in the next episode.